Alright, as you can see, I already started shutting it down. I done pulled the whole harness off the motor. It's off electronic throttle body, so hopefully it'll still fit my drive-by wire or drive-by cable one. But the other one, I believe right here, the previous owner, I assume they want to take it off, or the chain on the hoist got it. It broke this off, so I have a big ass hole in my intake. So versus buying a $500 intake or another stock one, I'm gonna take this free one. So I'm gonna take you out to my car in a few. I'll show you what it takes to take it off. It's very simple, just a few basic tools. Alright, I went ahead and got this other manifold all clean. The intake was so dirty. But after a can of brake clean, shot rags, I did clean it all out. It had a bunch of carbon buildup, and I did go through the actual injector ports. That way I don't rip a O-ring or something putting them in. Definitely a good idea to clean it and make sure everything's perfect before you get too far. It is just a truck manifold, but like I said, I don't want to spend $500 on a manifold, so this is a simple route. The other one, if you remember, this part's actually missing. I'm assuming when they took it out the truck, they broke it off. I'm not 1,000% sure. Just he didn't use the intake, so I'm not sure. All right, just in case I didn't show, this is the old intake. I haven't took it off yet. Up here is where the actual, like it says, Vortec up top bolts down. It's supposed to be a stud like one of these. Obviously, it's not. I just took a bolt with a bunch of tape, kind of made a half-ass little adapter piece or a plug, I would call it. It definitely works for now. It ain't leaking bad or nothing, but just I'm gonna spray nitrous on it, so I'm gonna guess that's gonna fail first. It's gonna shoot off. It's gonna suck it in. I'm gonna have a real bad vacuum leak. Just for preventative maintenance, I'm gonna change it out since I already have one. It's free. I already cleaned it out and stuff. Just like I remember to make sure to take everything off. All right, before I pull this off, I am going to go ahead and mark mine because I'm going to unhook all this and redo all my wires so it's a little bit more hidden. So I want to make sure I don't hook them up wrong because the wires don't really go in a fashion like 1, 2, 3, 4. They're kind of, it's an eBay harness, so it's not exactly a evenly length harness like an OM one. They don't just lay out exactly the way they should. So, sake of argument and sake of being safe, I went ahead and marked them 1, 2, 3, 4. That way I know when I put it together. Front's number 1, number 2, 3, and 4 in the back. And I went ahead and also marked the map sensor because there is 2 plugs identical that will reach each other. I just don't want to find out the hard way I hooked the wrong one up. Basically, all I use is just some masking tape and just a damn marker. So, as long as you got some of that nature, you should be fine. You don't have to do this. This is just for me. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start unplugging all this stuff. I'm gonna unplug the throttle sensor and stuff too, so make sure you unplug the front too on the front of the motor. Definitely don't forget odd stuff. There is a knock sensor plug too, so definitely don't forget that. That is this little plug. So basically, just don't forget that. It does need to stick out the intake, so make sure you leave it enough so it can still get out. But yeah, more or less, I went ahead and started undoing the injectors. I didn't mind from the adapter part. Them's kind down here, you can break them kind of easy. I don't want to break nothing, so I'm doing stuff the smart route. And pull the wires. Make sure you pull this breather tube out too. No, you can be wondering why it ain't coming off. I got most of the harness. Just mainly all the main stuff I need to pull off out the way. I just figured that was one thing in the way too. Alright, I took my 10mm, went ahead and unbolted the throttle body. Got the intake tube on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the 8mm out. I did get this little tube off the valve cover. You gotta remove that too. But 8mm, 8mm, 8, 8, 8, the same on that side. I'm gonna get them loose and I'll show you some more. Alright, what I forgot. Here too far, I need to bust my fuel line loose, ride the intake loose, and I can't get it loose. Alright, now the fuel line is off. I'll go ahead and get the rest of the bolts out. Alright, I got all the 8mm out. I believe it was 10. I know I forgot something. There's actually, I believe, the coolant line for the steam port. They removed that. And there's one more on this side, I do believe. Just as Gary, it looks like it's raining, so I'm trying to moderately hurry up. It's below the throttle body. So, gotta pull one side of that off so I can get it out of there. Alright, other side bolted. It was more trouble getting this damn hose off than the rest of the damn bolts. More because there's no space. You could pull like your alternator out or your intake or, man, I ain't trying to do all that. Well, intake's halfway off. I forgot to hook the brake booster line on. I'd adapt it so it ain't hooked up the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, intake's definitely off. While it's apart, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the dirt and all the white leaves from out my house. I live in the woods, so there's always a bunch of leaves in my damn cars. Guess I'm gonna go ahead in here and few. After I get done with that, go ahead and swap all the stuff to the new intake. I am trying to bolt this on there and make sure it does fit. I want to hook the throttle cable up, or throttle body up. This is actually in the way of my actual tube on the throttle body, so I want to make sure something else ain't gonna fit. Like my luck, the bolt hole ain't the same. This is off of actual drive-by cable, not drive-by, or I'm sorry, drive-by wire, not drive-by cable, which means it had a electronic throttle body, not an actual cable like the old school. So I'm gonna make sure it's gonna work. I guess I'll let you know. Alright, I got the intake bolted down. I went ahead and got like the brake booster hooked up, the intake tube on. The throttle body is different, not different, but to make it fit, I had to actually bend this line, which is kind of shitty, but I'm about to intake anyway, a new throttle body, but there's a little port below that. I don't know what it went to on that one, but I just took a hose and a bolt and just made a little plug. So it barely goes over it, but as long as it runs, I don't care. This is temporary anyway. Whatever works for now. Alright, got my Holly EFI fuel rail on. I'm gonna put the fuel line back on because it's starting to make a mess. I ain't trying to have gas everywhere. And then we get to the other side. Alright, I got both sides on. Those only just Allen just wouldn't see terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and start hooking all the cables back up and make sure all the connectors are snapped in. Just give me a few minutes and I'll snap it in and get a little farther. Alright, and I got it all plugged back in. Map sensor, fuel injectors. I probably didn't need to mark them, but I was gonna mess with it, but I'm gonna make it better later. More than likely, I'll blow this motor up anyway, spraying nitrous, so I'll get it nice later. Alright, got it all on. It was more of a struggle to get the actual throttle body to actual work, because I kind of made a little half-ass throttle cable, so it should be easy if you got the right stuff to use. But I think that's about it for now, guys. I do get the nice vortex thing on top, but I think everything else is pretty much done for the moment. Alright, I'm probably going to end the video here, guys. With the video ain't real long and lengthy. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Have a good day.